More than a year after we learned of domestic violence allegations against Cleveland and Columbus business owner Bobby George, I can tell you there is now an indictment in the case. It was August of 2024 when we learned that George was accused of attempted murder, rape, strangulation, felonious assault, and kidnapping. And now today, October 27th, 2025, I can tell you there's been an indictment in the case. It's an indictment by information, and the charge is attempted strangulation. So let me explain to you what that means. Special Prosecutor Jane Hanlon is the one who brought forth the indictment. It was not a grand jury. So when you're facing charges like attempted murder and rape in these serious felony accusations, you do have a right to have the allegations against you brought before a grand jury for those people to decide if the case will move forward. Well, in this case, I'm told that Bobby George waived that right and is prepared and has agreed to plead guilty to the charge of attempted strangulation. I'm told that this is tied to events that happened on or around June 9th of 2024. And from previous reporting, I can tell you that documents show it was in June of 2024 that the victim in this case said that she was in a closet when she had a towel shoved down her throat by Bobby George. And as she was praying for her life, George is said to have had said something to the effect of, "You think God will help you now." And this was in a residence that they were said to have shared at the time. So with this being attempted strangulation, a felony of violence, I can tell you it is something that cannot be sealed or expunged if it does move forward to that guilty plea. Now, arraignment in this case is set for Friday, October 31st, but I am told that it could move up to Thursday, October 30th, potentially. But even so, that arraignment is not the place where we would see the expected guilty plea necessarily. In Cuyahoga County, a different judge will handle the plea deal. So at that point is when we would expect to see the guilty plea. So later this week, if you see an arraignment where Bobby George has entered a plea of not guilty, that does not mean that this is not moving forward. As I've been told, that's just a different step to the process. So I can also tell you, when you look at the strangulation statute in Ohio, if you're found guilty of strangulation of a person that you're in a dating relationship with, that's a 4th-degree felony. But here, it's attempted strangulation. So that piece makes it a 5th-degree felony. And in that case, that's punishable by 6 to 12 months in jail, up to $2,500 in fines, or possibly 5 years of probation. So we'll see how the sentencing piece plays out. But I can tell you, if this does move forward with the guilty plea as expected, it will completely resolve this case, meaning those other allegations. So we'll continue to follow this through to the very end. I can tell you I spoke to, or tried to speak to, Kevin Spellacy, Bobby George's attorney, to get a comment on this, and have not heard back, but I did send a text message and leave a voicemail. Continue to follow us here to see the resolution of this case for more legal news.